Great, great.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Fire Committee meeting for Tuesday, November the 12th, 2024. I'll call this meeting to order. Ask if there's any declarations of pecuniary interest.
None known.
None known here either. The prior meeting minutes are attached to our agenda for information purposes. They were approved at a previous council meeting. Any questions or concerns, Mary?
No.
All right, we'll go on to the health and safety, item 8 for the joint health and safety report for the fire hall. Any questions, comments? No?
Looks pretty clean.
All right.
I didn't see any
No, there's nothing there.
check marks in the wrong place.
Okay. And that'll bring us right to item 9, which is new business. And we have a guest speaker today for the fire department monthly report. Deputy Chief McGregor, it's all yours.
For the report, as far as staffing goes, we're pretty much status quo in last month. Since the report was written, there was a bit of a flip-flop. We had one more responder. We brought one of our recruits up, the responding status since the report's been written. Training's going well. We ended up having our open house on a Monday night, so it took away from one of our training nights, but training's going well. Call wise, we were a little bit quieter for this period. And community relations, we've had a number of drop-in fire hall tours from the general public. Seems to be more and more of that going on. That's good. Our fire department open house was well attended. And we sent thank you letters out to the OPP and Anthony and MS for their presence and participation in that event. So they were pleased with the outcome as well. And fire prevention week, so that's a big week for us. We spent an entire week in the school during fire prevention week, and we hit all the grades right from JK all the way up to grade 8. So that was a good week for us. Lots of education on that week. Nothing to report on inspections for that month. So, the community EM side, I'll let Audio speak to that.
Of note, so we requested some radios for the youth universities, the budget last year, so those were delivered by Vericom and handed out to wastewater and public works, so they have them now. The idea was they could use them for the day for operational stuff, and if something happened, they'd be required to become emergency radios, so those are in place and ready to go. We've also added that same channel fire hall for our radios, so the EOC has those radios as well to communicate with people out in the field. We attended Plains Midstream had an exercise that they did a couple weeks ago over at the 4 Points, so they invited whenever to attend as well. Their exercise was a ship, a freighter lost power in the river, dropped anchor and caught one of their high pressure gas lines going across. So it was a quite production. They put a lot into it. There's probably maybe 100 people in the room and people from the US and Canada side. So they invited us to attend and kind of observe, and if something came up with whenever we'd step in. Nothing did as far as requests from us, but it was a good exercise to watch. A lot of work went into it, so we're grateful to be part of that. With regards to the EP grant for this year, so the plan was to request a generator for the community hall, standalone generator. I've been working with our current generator contractor for about 5 weeks, trying to get a price, send pictures back and forth, et cetera, et cetera. That individual knew that our budget was basically $50,000, and we came back with $127,000 for the generator. So wasted about 5 weeks of my time doing that. That left me 1 week till the deadline, so I contacted the local contractor, had him out to look at it. He felt he could do it for $50 or less, and his quote came back at $97 the day before the deadline. So we didn't submit a grant application this year, basically. I'm confident we're gonna do it again next year, because there's still a lot of communities that haven't been involved, so we'll look next year to see what our options are. I didn't want to just pick things willy-nilly and ask for it, because I'd rather get stuff that does need and make it a useful grant application. But Fairly disappointed that our contractor that we use for our generators and generators here did that to us without consideration for what we're trying to accomplish, so wasn't exactly happy about that. And then general meetings happening this week, so we're still doing the EP week 2025 planning meetings are going. They're going well. It's gonna be at Lincoln College next year on Saturdays, so during the week, so it'll be a different event than typical. But confident that it should be a good one. There's lots of good planning going on there. Yeah. That's all I got.
Great, thank you.
As far as the partner agencies and activities and initiatives, like we've been working with Lambton EMS and OTP, with some planning on our open houses. They were pleased with the outcome. They said the last couple that they had attended, they weren't well attended, so they were pleased with the attendance on ours. We've been working with the county, the building department on a few projects. That's a wait. Facility update for the interior, there's nothing to report at this time. On the exterior, we did have an incident with our west bay door. So we did a field repair in-house until we can get some quotes on getting the door repaired or replaced. So right now it sits, I know the chief's been in contact with 2 door companies. And we're still waiting for a quote from the second door company there. It's functional now, but we'll have to look at some of it. Vehicles and equipment, ladder 2 is scheduled for its annual inspection. And it's been completed the first time under the new MTO requirements. Unfortunately, it's turned out to be a lot more expensive than what we anticipated. So the way that the MTO has changed their truck inspection protocol creates more expense on us as the end user. So yeah, it was fairly expensive because when they pulled the wheels on these trucks, they actually need the seals in the rear duals are sacrificial, so they have to replace the seals. So the seals are expensive in themselves and extra labor. And, yeah. So our maintenance budget's probably going to be in question at the end of the year, but that's going to be one of the major reasons why. The extra expense. So engine 1 and rescue 3 will be done here towards the end of this month. With the incident that we had with the door, did some light damage to our engine 1 when the garage door came down on top of the truck. So we looked at replacing the emergency lights with some new LEDs. The LEDs just weren't cost effective for us, being that truck is going to be surplus in the next 1.5 to 18 months. So we opted to find some used parts that come out of Quebec. One of our guys very handy, and he made the piece of work to get it back so it's compliant. So that's where we're at with that right now. To put the new LEDs on, just for the light package alone, was $5,200 without installation. Dave Dobson was able to fix this up with some used parts, so that was good. Health and safety, the inspections were completed for the month. There was no issues reported. And then staff completed the training that was put forth by our health and safety coordinator. Nothing to report on the security side. Capital budget, we've been ordering some bunker gear and PPE. Feedback from the community. We had a large number of thank you cards that were made by the students at Bridgeview School and dropped off to the fire hall. And then we also had a thank you from Bridgeview School regarding the food that was collected for their food program. And there was a large amount of food that was collected, for that, which was great. And thank you goes out to the village, to Lions Fabrication, and then all our firefighters, and then the general public that donated to that. So So upcoming events, live fire training, our staff went through some live fire training, which was on Saturday. So, which went really well. A lot of hard work, a lot of dirty gear and a lot of cleanup, but at the end of the day, it was well worthwhile. The Remembrance Day Parade, staff attended that, with their volunteers. Not all went well. And of course, Christmas in the Village is coming up. As far as anything else, we did something a little bit different with the older kids at Bridgeview School. We brought them to the fire hall, had them do fire extinguisher training there, live fire training, which was well received by them. I think it was a bit of a field trip at the same time, but they got to learn some valuable lessons, so that was good. Our members attended the OFM POA, some training on heat detectors. So the Ontario Building Code is proposing that heat detectors be attached or installed in attached garages. So that's a review. It's ongoing right now. So some code reform there. Our members attended the OFC learning webinar regarding some of the changes in the owner's pension plan for part-time and volunteer firefighters. So the owner's pension plan has opened up contributions to volunteers, but there's some requirements on the municipality for that, and I'm not entirely sure. I think Chief's been in contact with you, Doug, or
Yeah, Jane working through the
James
treasurer.
working on something like that. We attended the OIFC PAC 1AB meeting. So for all the provincial updates regarding the fire service and any current issues during the fire service. We're waiting on some SCBA repair options or SCBAs. We've been putting some money away last few capital budgets. Our SCBA units are getting to end of life. And now we're starting to experience some issues with those. And the cost for the repair is fairly expensive. So we're looking at trying to find some other alternatives to get us through until such time as we buy purchase units. We did a final spec review with 1200 degrees in E1. Chief signed off on that. The truck's already in the queue for production, but this was just a formality for the vendor. And Marine 2 is out of service for the winter, so it's been winterized and shrink wrapped, and it's down to public works share. We do have the casino fire drill that's upcoming that we're gonna be viewing. We'll comment on that. To help them with any issues that they experience. Casino's pretty good at what they do, so not too worried about that. And then we've got one with the health unit coming up this week, the next week, sorry.
Any questions?
I had a couple. The first one, did you have any idea or sense of how long that food would last? Like, is that the food that was given to the school? Did that get them through this year's program, or? I was just curious.
Yeah, I don't know.
It just. it
There was
looked
a
like
large-
lot, But,
There was a large volume of food there.
yeah,
I don't really know how
Yeah.
much they go through on a daily basis.
yeah.
I mean, we
just-
could touch base with the principal, and see how they're making out.
Actually, I'm going to a meeting at the school tomorrow, so. I
Okay,
can
maybe
ask
you-
if I
maybe you
just
can-
thought of it, yeah. The other thing we didn't really talk about, but I meant to comment on is, during EP week, when they did the, exercise, it was at Nova St. Clair in the rail yard. It was done differently because it was all done by drone. So you sat in the room and the drones flew over. And it was all live on the screen. It was really interesting the way you see the technology now and how different it is.
Yeah, must have had the same company because they did the same thing. So the 4 points, they had a screen up and showed the.
Okay, it's
actual-
probably the
See,
same,
Yeah,
yeah.
so they had a company that was there, 2 or 3 guys there.
Yeah.
And they launched those drones at the emergency scene and then they were filming it live stream to the room.
So at Nova, you and I would know this from working there, but they were flying over the rail cars and they could actually, colors came on the screen. And you could tell, like, they could tell what was in the rail cars. And the levels of product in the rail cars as they were flying these things around.
Like thermal.
Thermal imaging.
Yeah, yeah, it was just, it took me back to when we did budget last year and people were talking about drones, and I think it's not drones, but you see what they use it for.
Pretty
It was,
sophisticated now.
It was very different.
Yeah, some of these drone packages are
Mhm.
upwards of $100,000.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
6 figures, yeah.
Well, it went really well. It was just a whole new way to look at it. The basis,
Mhm.
the exercise, it was good. Um. Oh, just one more comment. I think, for those senior kids at Bridgeview, that's a really good experience. Like, not every school would get that opportunity. Like, we're able to do that in our small community.
Yeah,
So,
we're lucky we can do it.
yeah, I think that's really good opportunity for those kids, and much more meaningful than you guys going to school and hearing some.
Yeah, in the
important
past,
lesson.
we've done similar program.
Yeah.
Going to the school, but they just get to come out into the
Yeah.
schoolyard. This time they get to come to fire hall, go through the whole process there, and they're in our classroom.
Yeah,
Versus
yeah.
their own classroom, so it's
Yeah.
it's a bit of a difference.
I thought it was a really good opportunity for them.
It's not like it's a big trip for them either.
Yeah.
They could rent buses and all that. Come over.
Yeah, they just walk down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even in my day, we used to walk from Fire Hall.
Uphill both ways, right? Oh, I know, yeah.
That's it for me, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, and again, I think we said it last meeting, but that was, the open house was really well done, and everyone, I mean, I only heard positive things. Kids really look forward to it.
And it's nice to hear that our partners that are there
Yeah, that,
are commenting
yeah,
how
yeah.
well attended it is compared to others that they participate in, so.
it's not just us thinking that it's great.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we did have the kids from the daycare come over yesterday, and they had a great big Bristol board with all their handprints on it for the Touch a Truck event.
Oh,
Mm.
yeah,
That was back. So, yeah. Came through the hall yesterday for the walkabout. The thank you cards.
Wonderful.
you also had them come over for candy.
Yeah, we had them come
Yeah.
over for Halloween candy. Yeah, we had a whole bunch of them that day.
Like in the day, they
Yeah,
came over.
So they come over in their different groups, and
Yeah.
then they come over from the school. And then the chief brought a bunch of candy over to the school.
There was candy at the fire hall?
There was.
It was of the.
We had
opportunity.
some licorice there, but it seemed to go missing.
Sorry, no, sorry. Okay, anything else then? That's
No, that's
good,
it.
okay, the monthly financial statements,
Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Sorry. It just hit me. The chief said the truck is going to be longer in delivery. He said that the other day.
Yeah, so they've given us a date of early 2027.
Yeah.
The vendor said, don't hold them to it, but he thinks that it will be late 2026.
Okay,
He said he would give us a better idea on the schedule. First quarter 2025. He will be able to give us a better delivery date on what they're thinking, so. The vendor was fairly confident that it would be October, November 2026, but he said don't hold it to him. Right now it's scheduled to be delivered February 2027, but he's thinking
yeah.
it'd be better than that.
Well, it's lucky that our equipment is in good shape, that they just finished the spec. This is 2024.
Mhm.
And they said, you'll see a truck in 2027, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we're experiencing some higher maintenance costs. I didn't bring it up in the report because it just happened over the weekend during training. Found that the ladder truck was giving us some issues. So we're gonna have to replace all the batteries on that truck. So today, that's supposed to be a project for today to get all the batteries swapped out on that truck. Because of a hard start. So the maintenance costs, I mean, they're big expensive trucks and they need to be maintained.
When does the 20-year clock start on the new pumper, the model year of the cab or the actual in-service year?
I would say it's probably the in-service date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like it'd probably be a 24 or 25 cab.
Yeah, because they're custom They're custom made, yeah, they're
Mm.
probably,
Or the chassis would be, somebody made it,
yeah, so like our ladder truck. If you look at the VIN on it, it's a 2027 or a 207, sorry.
Yeah.
It's a 207 and we received it in 208,
okay,
so basically.
thank you.
Thank you.
Financial statements,
I didn't have any questions.
and I do know that, Jim told me that Jane is working on a new format to present the financial statements to give us more analysis and more in a quarterly, so we can actually see where we're at, and it would be a much better presentation, so I look forward to that. Any other new business?
No.
Anything from you,
No, no,
from the Peter Gallery? Okay. Our next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, January the 14th, 2025. You'll have a new chairperson, so good luck with that. Yeah, and Merry Christmas to everybody, and we will adjourn.